My name is Louie Moss, and I'm going to share with you about how I had the opportunity to have many out-of-body experiences, and I'm even going to teach you how to do it yourself. We know there's over 2 billion people throughout our planet right now that would love to know how to have an out-of-body experience and meet their spiritual guides and see the different realms that you can't see in the physical. I'm going to do my best to be able to share with you how to do that, and you can click on louiemoss.com. That's LOUIEMOSS.com. Okay? But this is what happened to me when I was between 19 and 20 years old. I was down at the library one day, and I had heard about people having out-of-body experiences, but I had never run into anybody that actually had. So I was looking through the library, and I saw this book, and it said astral separations. I heard that there was astral separations, that you could have an astral separation, but I had never experienced it. So I took that book off the shelf, and I looked at it, and I was just totally intrigued about what I was looking at and the possibilities that I may also be able to experience an out-of-body experience. So I checked that book out, took it home, and I started reading it. And oh my Lord, I thought to myself, what if I could experience that? They were talking about going into different realms and meeting their spiritual guides and seeing all these different colors that I can't see in the physical. And I thought, my Lord, is that a possibility for me? So anyway, I started practicing. I started doing what they said to do. I started laying on my bed at night. When I went to bed, I'd just go in there and I'd just get as still as I could be on my back. And I'd wait till I got kind of numb. And they said your body had to be numb, like you were almost a half awake and half asleep. So I started practicing. And I practiced and I practiced and I practiced, and nothing happened. I thought, I don't know if this is going to work or not. So I was about probably 2.5 weeks into it, the first time that it happened. Actually, what happened was when I was laying there, I felt this like a gaseous body that slid out on the floor on my left side. And it was laying there, and I realized that was my consciousness there. My body that was in the bed was not real. It was not alive. It was not connected. Actually, it was connected, but it was not my consciousness. My consciousness was on the floor. So I thought, oh my Lord, this may be happening. So I started preparing my mind. As soon as I started thinking about it, I got so excited, I plopped right back into my physical body. So I knew there was a possibility then that I might be able to do what they were talking about in that book. So what happened was, after that, I kept practicing, laying there, not moving a muscle, and trying to get to the point where I didn't feel my body, kind of numb and in between half awake and half asleep. But anyway, I said, if this happens again, I says, I want my body to come up out of my physical body and just hover about 1 foot high. And I kept doing it, and nothing was happening. And then all of a sudden, I heard this in my ear, my left ear. And all of a sudden, like an elevator, here comes this gaseous body out of my physical body. and all of a sudden, I'm starting to realize that my consciousness is in this gaseous body above my physical body. I got so excited, I started giggling, and bang, right into my physical body I went. And I'm thinking, wow, this is really happening. I'm going to keep practicing. So I kept practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing, and nothing was happening. And then I started hearing this. One night I started hearing this, and I'm starting to already get excited. And I said, okay, now this is happening, so what I want you to do is I want you to come up out of my physical body and go up just to the ceiling, but don't go through the ceiling because I'm not experienced enough with this, and I don't know if I trust it or not, but I just want to experience it one little bite at a time, okay? And I'm almost half giggling already, but anyway, this body that started coming out of my physical body just started raising right up there to the bottom of the ceiling, and I'm thinking, holy mackerel! My consciousness is up here and my physical body is down there in my bed, and I'm thinking, wow, this is happening. And I got so tickled, I started laughing, and bang, right back in my physical body I came. So I thought, I read in that book that the molecules and atoms in a house, in the walls or in the ceiling, is scattered apart to where it's not so dense that I should be able to go right through. So I said, oh my gosh, I says, the next time it happens, I'm going to try to get through that ceiling. And so anyway, it took quite a while before it happened again, and I heard this and I go back up to the top of the ceiling out of my physical body, and I'm trying to go through this ceiling, and I can't go through. It won't let me go through. I haven't, my frequency hadn't changed enough, and my vibrations, so that I could go through that through the molecules and the atoms that were sparsely scattered, but not sparsely scattered enough for me to go through. So I thought, I'm just going to keep practicing this, and I'm going to go through that ceiling. I'm going to go right up through them rafters, and I'm going right out into the sky. So anyway, I kept practicing, getting numb, because I'd just lay there, and finally I'd almost half awake and half asleep, and I'll be doggone, it happened. All of a sudden, this body comes out of my physical body, and it goes zoom right through that roof, and all of a sudden I'm up in the sky, and I'm looking out all over the place and realizing that I can go any place I want to go without any effort, because I can fly around like a jet plane, but only at the speed of thought. I can go anywhere I want instantly. So I got to practice, flying around over the United States and all over the place. And here I'm up there like in an airplane, and up there about 5,000 feet, and I'm seeing the lights down below and at night in the dark, and I'm thinking, man, this is cool. And I read in that book, it said, it says, if you keep doing this and you get to a higher frequency, you should be able to go into the higher realms where that you can communicate with your higher self, or even your guides, your spiritual guides. And I'm thinking, what if that could happen? Really? Wow. I'm telling you what, I'm going to keep practicing. I'm going to see if I can do this deal. So anyway, it took quite some time. Between 19 and 20 years old, it was happening quite a bit, but it was happening in intervals, and it would happen in maybe 2 or 3 weeks apart, or a month apart. But anyway, it happened. All of a sudden, I was in a realm where the light was so bright, it blinded my spiritual eyes. And all of a sudden I landed up on this knoll, and I looked into the ground, and there was 4-leaf clovers all around me. And my Lord, I looked into them 4-leaf clovers and realized that I was all in one and all with those 4-leaf clovers right there. And I just happened to look over to the left side of me, and I saw these beautiful flowers on this beautiful meadow, and I could see colors. See, in the physical plane here, in my biology plane, I can't see but a few colors. I'm colorblind on 17 different colors. And I got to see some of the most brilliant colors I'd ever seen in my life. And oh my Lord, it just thrilled my whole being. And I thought, holy mackerel. And I realized that my consciousness and those flowers and the foliage clovers, and I looked up at the sky and I saw the beautiful, beautiful sunshine. And I realized that I was all in one and all with all of that there is no separation. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. And so I'm thinking, wow. And then next thing I know, I'm flopping back into my physical body, but I get to experience that and remember it. So I'm thinking, wow, what if it would be such a time where I could actually meet my spiritual guides and or guide, or I didn't know, really what to expect. But anyway, the next time I got to go out, I got to meet some kitties and cats and dogs. And they were so happy to see me. And oh my Lord, they just, we spoke in mental telepathy, and we knew exactly what each other was saying and thinking and feeling. And we just loved each other to unbelievable heights of enjoyment. And then after I got done with that experience, I thought, oh my Lord, what if I could experience my spiritual guides? And so I just kept practicing and practicing. Now I knew I was onto something now, and you're not going to get this away from me now. I got it. So anyway, I was laying there one night, and then boom, boom started going off my ear, and I thought, holy mackerel, here I go. And next thing I know, I'm sitting there, not sitting, I'm kind of like hovering, and I have a man over here on the left side and another man on the right side, and this beautiful blonde, the most beautiful eyes I had ever seen in my life. And we spoke in mental telepathy. We didn't speak in the biology language. We spoke in actual mental telepathy. And I was telling how happy I was to be able to be there. And they said, we're going to let you go to a higher realm and meet your inner being, your real self. And I thought, holy mackerel, what's this all about? I heard about the ethereal realms when I read about it in that book I was telling you about. And so I'm thinking, wow, I can't wait. And so next thing I know, it's like an elevator. I was lifted up into this spiritual realm where, if you can imagine unconditional love 1,000 times stronger than anything you can imagine here on the physical plane. If you can just imagine that. You can't imagine it because you just can't imagine it with the physical biology. But I got to feel that and experience it. And I realized that I could actually, whatever I thought about, I could create. So I thought, I'm going to create a house. I'm going to create a brook going through, water running through, in the back and everything. And I'm going to see if I can do that. And as soon as I thought about it, I created it instantly. And I thought, holy mackerel, I'm in the creative realm. But not only that, I'm in the unconditional love realm where I'm just saturated with unconditional love. And I realized that I'm all in one and all with everything, every person, place, and thing on this planet and all the other planets in the universe, the other trillions out there. And I'm thinking, wow, man, I'm experiencing something that is just beyond understanding on the physical plane. So anyway, I got to experience creating whatever I wanted to and got to experience it. It was the greatest feeling I ever had in my life. And before I came back down, I got to go into another realm where I even got to be more of all in one and all with everything, because there's no separation in consciousness. We are all in one and all. And when I realized that, I thought, holy mackerel, what did I discover? So I remember that when I came back, I says to myself, I can create anything I want in life by just thinking about it and visualizing it and experiencing it. And that's why I wrote the book, 68 Seconds to Becoming Wealthy, and you can find it on louiemoss.com. But anyway, that experience changed my life. It changed my whole life. And I wanted to tell somebody about that so bad it wasn't funny. But here's what happened. They dropped me back down to where I was talking to my spiritual guides. And I told them, I says, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. I said, I'm only, at that time, I might have been getting close to 20 years old. And I said, I don't want to go back and experience all the stuff that I'm going to have to experience. And so they says, you must go back. Your work is not done here on this physical plane, on the physical plane. So I think to myself, well, what in the world do I have to do? What? I mean, I've already experienced unconditional love. I know what to expect. I'm not afraid to die whatsoever. I can't wait to die so I can go back there. It's the greatest feeling I ever had in my life. But anyway, I plopped back into my body, and I'm telling you, I knew for a fact then I could create anything on this earth, no matter what I thought about. I could create it if I thought about it. And a belief is only a creative ability if you keep thinking about whatever you want to create. If you keep thinking about it and thinking about it, I guarantee you, you will experience it. And I break it down and share that with my book in louiemoss.com. Because you got to know this. I mean, you just have to know it, because most people don't know anything about this. And so as time went on, I thought, I got to share this with somebody. I mean, my Lord, I don't know who would believe me, but you know what? What if somebody would? I mean, I'd just love to be able to share it. And so I had a pretty good, actually two good buddies, and we had some pretty good trust relationship going between each other. And I thought, I'm going to try it. So I started telling them about what I experienced. And they were real religious boys, and they said, oh my Lord, Louie, you've been bit by the devil. You've been bit by the devil. So they said, we're going to take you down and see our minister. I said, okay, let's go down and see him. And so I'm just giggling all the way, because I experienced it, so I had nothing to hide, and I'm having nothing to fear. And to this day, I don't have no frustrations, no worries, no fears of any kind, because there's nothing to fear except fear itself. So anyway, we ended up down there to see the minister, and they said, Louie, tell tell the minister what you told us. And so I started to tell him, and I didn't even get a dozen words out of my mouth, man. He grabbed me and I thought he was going to tear my arm off my shoulder. Get rid of that devil out of me. And I'm thinking, oh my Lord, help me, help me, help me. So I decided right then and there that I wasn't going to share this with anybody. So for 45 years plus, I kept it within myself. I didn't share it with nobody because I didn't want to experience that experience I had. So about when I was probably about 60 years old, I decided I was going to write the book, 68 Seconds to Becoming Wealthy. And what that actually is, it's practicing principles that I lay out so that it'll affect every part of your mental, your physical, your spiritual, your financial, and put everything in balance so that everything you touch will turn to gold. I promise you, if you practice it. It's like learning how to play a guitar or an instrument of any kind, or anything you want to practice at. Basketball, football, baseball, anything. It doesn't matter. If you want to get good at, you got to practice. And you got to practice and practice and practice. Well, I teach people how to utilize the principles, how to learn how to create anything they want in their life and do it effortlessly by just sitting there and practicing it and do it while you're walking around, when you're shopping, when you're talking to other people even. Be thinking about what you are creating, because a belief is only happening if you're practicing it. Then it becomes a belief, and then it becomes a reality. And so I'm so tickled to share this with you, because now I feel like I can come out to the world after all this time. In my biology age, I'll be 76. And I feel like a little kid about 5 years old, because I've experienced this amazing stuff. And like I was telling you earlier, I'm not afraid to die. I'm excited about dying because I know I'll be reincarnated and right back here in just a few days and be janking on another umbilical cord hanging down, and I'll have another mother, and I'll be saying, hey, I'm back, and ready to do it again. And the only reason we keep coming back and doing it again and again and again is to reach that higher dimension of unconditional love so that we can bring peace on earth. And that's what I'm all about, is helping bring heaven to earth. And when you go into my website, you're going to see a variety of different things. You're going to see my 100-year plan for helping alleviate all the pain and suffering, basically, on planet Earth. And not only that, you'll be able to order my book if you choose. And it's got either a paperback or an ebook, so people that are in other countries can just order it just like that. And you're going to be able to be guided to anything you want to achieve in life. I promise you, if you will practice it, you can have it. And there's nothing that can hold you back. And what will happen too, your fears and your worries and your frustrations will be a thing of the past, because I will share with you how to live the most glorious life with unconditional love that is only a mere imagination until you experience it. And then you get to live like I do, like a little 5-year-old kid, just laughing and skipping through life every second. And every second to me is beautiful while I'm living here on this earth. And I'm so happy to share this with you. I can't tell you because I've been holding this in me for all these years. And now I feel like I can go out to the world. And because we know for a fact there's over 2 billion people that would love to learn how to have an out-of-body experience and meet the spiritual guides and find out what in the world are they supposed to be doing here on planet Earth. Well, I break it down and try to explain it to you. In the Q&As, you're going to find out some questions and answers there. You're going to be able to identify, especially if you've been seeking how to have an out-of-body experience. And then, of course, I break it down and show you how to have the out-of-body experience. It doesn't cost you a thing. I just give that to you as a love token of unconditional love. But you will have to buy my book if you want to learn how to be and do everything you ever wanted to do in your life, because it'll teach you the principles. It'll teach you so that you know exactly how to communicate with who you really are instead of who you think you are. So with that, I'm going to just wish every single one of you the blessings of your life. And I am so happy that I finally get to share this with the world, because 2 billion people out there plus are waiting for this information. God bless every single one of you. I love you.